Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I'm, of course, the Battle Room, and today I'm joined by Raghav. How you doing, buddy?
Colin, I am doing great. It has been a phenomenal weekend. We just had EUIC, and I have to say, I was sober the entire time, and I think it's finally time for some weed action. We got Paul Chua versus Zachary Weed. This is the finals of the biggest tournament of all time, and we've got some familiar faces here.
Yeah, we have Paul Chua, who is a six-time regional champion, but most notably the Toronto regional finalist, losing to Kerry, which we did break down on the channel. So he's recently had a lot of success, right? And then, of course, Zachary Weed, a consistent, constantly getting top cut or getting close to it, but most recently getting second place at the Las Vegas finals. So both of these are like literally the last two North American regional finalists are facing off in UIC, which is kind of funny, kind of cool.
That's pretty sick, dude. It shows
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
really are like they're on their shit right now. They're really good right now.
hmm
And Paul's using his exact same team that he used in Toronto as well. Zach obviously was a different format in Vegas, but this is showing it's not a fluke, dude. This guy is really really good.
Yeah, and I think Zach's been like consistently very close to like breaking out and having that insane, like finish. I feel like a lot of people talk very highly of him as a player. So yeah, let's check out their runs really quick to see how they got here.
So starting off with Paul, in his top 8 set, he had a tricky matchup versus Frederick's team that had Dozo but also an Ursaluna mode, but he honestly made pretty quick work with it, using the Fluttermane and his Raging Bolt, the big special attackers, to kind of neutralize that Dondozo really easily. Then moving on to top 4, playing another really wild team that Francesco Piopero and Flavio Del Pidio made together. It is a Gouging Fire Thunderous Ting Lu team, and honestly, I think it was made to counter the standard meta, the exactly the team that Paul is running. But that was an absolute masterclass, and hopefully we'll cover that later too. But Paul honestly made it look so easy. He made it look like these Pokemon are just broken and you can't do anything to stop him. So at this moment, I think Paul's feeling really good with two 2-0s in Top Cut to make it to the finals. I think he's feeling on top.
Yeah, and Zachary had a little bit of a different story there. Firstly, he played against Davide, who was using a pretty standard balance team, the Qianpao team, except it didn't have Qianpao and instead had Ogerpon Fire. So it was a very similar what he's going to be playing in finals, just with Landorus over Fluttermane. And then in top 4, he played a Psy Spam Mirror against Roberto, which honestly was kind of a banger set, another good one that we probably have to review on the channel. And he was able to win 2-1 against that. So both times, very close victories, and now he's sitting in the finals versus Paul Chua.
Yeah, so Paul, hasn't experienced much difficulty. Zach, on the other hand, showing his resilience, showing that if I lose a game, it's fine. I'm just gonna come back. So I think this is gonna be really interesting, especially because the matchup isn't like a mirror or anything. It really could go either way.
So first up here, we do have Paul Chua with the standard balance team. When you think of standard balance, these are the 6 Pokemon you get. Most notably, famously, this team was actually in the finals last time we had Regulation F in UIC with none other than Tim Edwards with the same 6 Pokemon. Slight variations in the moveset and all that, but again, the same 6 Pokemon. So we got Raging Bolt, the Calm Mind leftover set, the Demon of Regulation F. We have Rillaboom with Assault Vest with high horsepower, and then we have the Swords Dance Ogerpon Fire, the Focus Sash or Shifu, which is something we don't see a lot of nowadays, Fluttermane with Booster with both Icy Wind and Thunder Wave and no taunt, and then we have Incineroar with the taunt and just this bulky Citrus Berry.
Yeah, I think when it comes to these really standard compositions that are really bulky and surrounding, this Calm Mind Raging Bolt, these little choices really do matter. I think the taunt knockoff set on Incineroar is really important to prevent opposing parting shots, also help against Amoonguss, because that Ogerpon does not follow me either. And then also this Fluttermane set that has Protect as well as Thunderwave. Paul, I think he is known to be a bit of a lucky player, but that's only aided by how incredibly consistent this guy is. He puts himself in winning positions, so if you're letting him spam Thunderwave, you're going to get punished, right? And I think this is just a perfect team for Paul because it gives him all the options he needs. All he has to do is play better than you.
Yeah, and I think that's something that Paul is incredibly good at. He's a 6-time regional champion. For a long time, he was also tied with Wolf. Like before Wolf broke ahead in Scarlet and Violet, Paul hasn't been winning regionals in Scarlet and Violet, but he's still been, he won an internet. He got second. He's placing well at these tournaments.
Top
He's
quarter at Worlds. He's
yeah.
easily one of the best players of all time, and it's like when we say that, it's not just like, oh, he's a top 20. I think he's top 10 easily player all time.
I think even in America, he might be number 2, right? Like, this guy is
Yeah.
absurd. And so this is just a team that just lets him do that. Like you said, like, he can play around Ogerpon. He can play around Raging Bull. He can play around Urshifu. He has so many viable options, and whatever the ebb and flow of the game demands, he'll be there for it. And I think that's what makes him so deadly is you can't really prep versus this team. You have to prep versus the player. So it's going to be interesting to see going into this set.
But does Zach have anything on his team that could give him an edge in this matchup?
So here we have Zachary Weed's team. We have a very much a traditional Iron Crown team, but with a lot of interesting techs, and then obviously a crazy 6 mod. But breaking it down, we've got Ogerpon Fire with obviously Terra Fire, just about being, I'm pretty sure this one's really bulky. It's just a very strong, good Pokemon on the core. It's really offensive. It also provides the double follow me with Indeedee. Then we have kind of a crazy pick from this Urshifu. We have Surging Strikes, Close Combat, Taunt, and Protect on a Sash Urshifu. Traditionally, you'll see Scarf Urshifus on this team. Or I guess banned in the case of Shoma. But yeah, usually this one's kind of a crazy set. I think it's a really cool tech. I think in the current format, I think Taunt is really good. And as we're seeing, we have a double Sash Urshifu finals, which is pretty wild. Then we have Covert Cloak Tornadus with Rain Dance just to enable Urshifu. Torn is just so good here, right? Because Raging Bolt just feels kind of bad to bring into this team. So Tornadus can really pop off potentially if you need to bring it. But otherwise, it's just a pretty normal supportive set. Then we have kind of a spicy pick here with the Booster Energy Iron Crown with Calm Mind. Now, most of these Booster Energies with Calm Mind are usually speed, but Zach is special attack boosting Iron Crown. And also, Calm Mind is just not really seen. There's like a building group that was working around with it, but it just really hasn't been very popular. The Terra Blast Water is usually what you're seeing here, and this one is actually Terra Dragon as well. So like, I feel like that completely shakes up how you're supposed to approach Iron Crown, because normally you can pretty much reliably say that it is going to be Terra Water, and it's probably going to have Terra Blast. But this one just completely throws that out on the window. Calm Mind is just a different beast, and it can make Iron Crown absolutely absurd. And then we have a choice banned Landorus, which is something we've seen on the fringe of the format. Like, I feel like we've seen a couple teams here and there with it, but it hasn't popped off or done really, really well at a tournament yet. But the Tornadus plus Landorus core is actually so solid. Bleak Wind plus Earthquake spam is really hard to get around, and it's really, really obnoxious. I also think, in general, this Iron Crown does appreciate Intimidate a lot as well. Obviously, it's got Calm Mind, now it has Intimidate, so it's even harder to kill. And then we have the Follow Me bot that is Indeedee, just kind of there to enable Iron Crown and just follow me all attacks away. It's really all it's for. But yeah, it's a pretty cool team, and kind of a, like, it's kind of boring in a way because it is very similar to the other one, but it also has a lot of really cool tech picks that I think really elevated it in this tournament and allowed him to succeed.
So I actually really like this team. I played our friend Aditya at Toronto Regionals, our friend TK49, and he had the same 6 Pokemon, but slightly different sets. And I actually really enjoyed this concept. I think Lando T adds a really good dimension, threatening Raging Bull, adding another physical attacker, and giving Intimidate to a team that doesn't really have it usually. I also really like Calm Mind, booster special attack. I didn't think about that, but I think it's so good because there's so many dead turns, especially into like teams that are trying to protect and pivot, or just, you know, opposing special attackers, into these teams that are trying to set up Trick Room on you. Setting up a Calm Mind can really just be devastating for them, even in the mirror too. So I think these small choices that Zach's done are take him a really long way, and that's just the story of the format. Like, same with the Urshifu, we're seeing a double Sash Urshifu finals, and I think it's because people like are underestimating the value of a really strong close combat, or just, you know, being fast and strong, not having to Terra and plan around the Thunderclap or something. So I think just having that Sash, and especially that Terra Stellar, can be really big, especially into Rillaboom, which is obviously a big priority for this team to deal with. You have Tornadus, you have Ogerpon. You just want to be able to set up your Psychic Terrain freely. But I think Zach's team overall, super sick, and I'm curious to see what his game plan is into something so standard like Paul's team.
All right, so let's see how that matchup goes. Obviously, Zach probably has a plan here going into this matchup. It is the most standard team in the format, but we'll have to see what he's going to do. And we're going to see a Ogerpon and Urshifu lead from Zach into a Fluttermane Urshifu lead from Paul here. How are you feeling about the position just right off the bat?
Honestly, I'm surprised on both leads. I thought Paul would maybe lead Incineroar like Raging Bolt or something. And Zach's lead is pretty reasonable. It's just tricky here because Paul's got the speed control. He can Thunder Wave either Pokemon, or he can threaten a Moonblast, and then Ogerpon's going to be stuck having to follow me, or that Urshifu's just going to take stupid amount of damage. And the same situation on Zach's end. They're both Sash Urshifu, so this Urshifu needs to be doubled, which I think is problematic here.
Yeah, I think it is really interesting, like deep pressure, and obviously there's a potential Terra Grass here from Paul. He doesn't opt to go for it. Obviously he could be getting Ivy Cudgeled as well, but we are just going to see that pretty standard Follow Me, like you said, and we saw Paul go for the Moonblast here, so he is going to whiff that into it, but he just kind of keeps Zach honest, right? Like he's like, you kind of have to press this, because I could just, Moonblast and potentially Surging Strikes you. And we're going to see Zach's Urshifu move first, which I think could be important information, because they are both Sash. The question is, are they Sash Adamant or Sash Jolly?
Yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. Based on the damage calcs and speed stuff earlier, haven't been able to identify whether they're Adamant or Jolly. Regardless, Paul's Flutter Mane is down from that Stellar Terra, and I think Zach's Ogerpon is going to live just barely here.
Yeah, this is hitting like a wet towel, dude. Like it took a Moonblast and a Surging. If I had a bet, I would say he's probably Jolly, but I'm not really sure. It could be a bulky Ogerpon as well. You never know.
Yeah, it really could be bulky. But we see Rillaboom come in, and Zach could have the Indeedee in the back. That could be a really big deal. But Paul, I feel like Paul has a plan here. He kind of locked that in really fast.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it's a very obvious potential, like, it feels like such a bait, right? Like the Indeedee switch and then the Ivy Cudgel into Rillaboom feels so good that it almost feels like illegal, right? Like you don't really want to press it. And I believe Zach has Woodhammer as well. So if he does opt to go for a Woodhammer into Urshifu, he will faint. Like he'll just kill himself. So I don't know if that's necessarily the best play either. So we'll have to see. And the bait from Paul is fire here.
I didn't really like that. I feel like I would have wanted the Indeedee to come on the Ogerpon and just use that Terra Stellar CC.
True,
but Zach, I guess, wanting to preserve the Urshifu and maybe just get this yummy Woodhammer off.
See, the thing is, though, is like a Cudgel into that Rillaboom would feel pretty good as well, just to get this guy at half. But we'll see if he does. I mean, I imagine that he is just going to go for the Ivy Cudgel into Urshifu.
Wait, why?
What? If he would have Woodhammered, that would have been so sick because, oh, he just Surginged anyways. But it would have fainted. That would have been huge.
Yeah, but if he Woodhammered, then the Urshifu only gets one Surging, right? Because of Rocky Helmet.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that would be
a
big
deal. And I think he would have just won the game. Whereas here, I understand he didn't want a Woodhammer to go down to recoil in case something switched in, but I think it's honestly not a big deal. I think I would have much preferred you either to swap Ogerpon out or just go for the Woodhammer, right?
Yeah, because now it's such a safe play from Paul, I think, here. Depending on the Ogerpon speeds, he doesn't necessarily know. But if I had a bet, he's got the faster Ogerpon because, he's the SD one. And I'm feeling like Zax is pretty bulky. Worst case, though, it could be some sort of speed tie. But I feel like it is a free Ivy Cudgel into Ogerpon and then just swap out your Indeedee. Like, it's not... Like, he kind of has to. He wants to win the terrain war, potentially, depending on who that last Pokemon is. Or just having that Follow Me for later could be huge if the last Mon is Iron Crown.
Yeah, so, having to swap out with Indeedee sucks, though. Well, I don't think Paul even pulled it.
And then we're going to see Urshifu come back in. And now, I mean, like, depending on the Ogerpon speeds here, it could be really bad.
I think Zach very reasonably could be max speed Jolly just because it's so useful, but it doesn't matter. Paul goes first and takes out the Ogerpon. At this point, do you bring back in your Indeedee or not? I feel like you're not feeling very happy here. You really need to get rid of this Ogerpon.
No, you're not feeling happy at all here because, I mean, it depends what the last Pokemon is, right? If it's Landorus, it feels potentially bad because of the Urshifu, but it is going to be the Indeedee coming back in. If it's Iron Crown, you're kind of just sitting there in front of an Ogerpon with no Terra available. So I think, like, the Terra Stellar was sick because it got rid of Flutter Mane in the beginning, but after that, it's just kind of been a liability because that Terra Dragon right now would just win the game, right? Like, it would wall these three Pokemon completely. Obviously, Flutter Mane has to faint, and you can't do that without using the Terra Stellar. But now it's looking kind of hard if it's Iron Crown. If it's Landorus, it's still a little tricky, and you're going to have to remove this Urshifu.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Crown just because of how he's been playing it and the damage it has with Indeedee, whereas Landorus is a little bit harder to position. But we see the Indeedee go down. I really think he should have just CC'd earlier. I think his Ogerpon lives here. Oh, it died.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's a
Wait.
crown though, you just get to fake out CC and you lose.
Yeah, because you're gonna get hit with a CC here, CC right here, and then is it gonna go down to Sash? It does. So now you just get to fake out the crown and Aqua Jet, right? It's just a free KO onto Urshifu. I think no matter what the last Pokemon is, you just do that. So the last Pokemon needs to be able to 1v1 here, and I don't think any Pokemon on Zach's team. Oh, it could be Torn would be the one here. Torn would be the
Thorn
winner.
would win the game. Yeah.
But it's Iron
But
Crown.
yeah, and Paul has high horsepower, not U-turn like a lot of these balanced teams run. And I think high horsepower is the reason he's going to win this game. If it was U-turn, I think there's a chance that that Paul could lose this, but yeah, you're just going to see the fake out jet like you said. Zach could win the speed type jet and crit Urshifu, then there's a chance.
Yep, and we're gonna see that fake out. And
Oh
we're
wait,
gonna...
Zach doesn't have
he
jet.
does, yeah, he doesn't have
gone.
Jet. Yeah, so this is just
game
a
is
guaranteed,
just so over.
a
Yeah, Paul
guaranteed
just
turn.
won.
I think he won even if he was U-turn, just because I think Woodhammer surging is going to do way too much, right? So I think this is a really safe game for him.
Yeah, without Jet, there's just literally just no chance. Paul 100% won this game. I think we saw the blunders early in the game with that. I guess it was just turn 2, really, right? You swapped that in DD, and then just not keeping the pressure on, because we saw Ogerpon go down to a CC. So if he had actually stayed in and CC'd that Rillaboom's slot, as it switched into Ogerpon, I think Zach might have just won on the spot. Because Urshifu is not winning this game without taking Rocky Helmet chip into the Indeedee. And so I think Zach has the tools here. He just needs to make sure he gets the turns right, and not give Paul these free attacks, basically, honestly.
Yeah, and he still has his Terra available as well here, so he's even going to do more damage here. So this guy is.
I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah. And then
and Zach's crown is quite bulky, so it can live that. But it's just not enough. It's just too little, too late. Even a Woodhammer would take him out here.
Yeah, dude, he could probably kill him with a glide even. He is going to go for high horsepower, though, and that is game 1 to Paul. I feel like it was still... I mean, like, I've always said this about Iron Crown teams. It does come down to a lot of 50-50s, but I think Zach, unfortunately, just kind of got those turns wrong. And I think, like you said, that one turn would have just been a game winner if he just CC'd the Ogerpon. But yeah, I mean, going into game 2... If you're Zach, what are you doing? Are you changing it up? Are you changing it up if you're Paul, right? Like, because he did just kind of beat him with... Like, Fluttermane didn't even really do much because it did go down so quickly. But it is... I mean, like, do you get rid of it? Do you just run it back? Like, is Fluttermane still just good to your overall game plan that you want to keep it?
Well, I think on an important note, we have to consider the drip war, right? Because Paul, I can't really see what he's wearing. I think it's a play Pokemon shirt. No, it's not, right? What is it?
It's a Pokemon shirt. It's the UIC shirt.
A Pokemon shirt. And I did find out earlier, Zach posted on Twitter a gif of young Sheldon, right? And I'm starting to think maybe Zach is young Sheldon. I think he might be the same actor, which is a huge advantage of high-pressure situations. Perhaps a sign of his intellect. I think he still got this. But if I am Paul, I think maybe I bring the Raging Bolt this time. I think a Calm Mind, Leftovers game plan could really throw him off guard, especially since he didn't even go for a game 1.
Mm-hmm. And there was no Landorus game 1, so you could feel even a little bit better, right? Because I think Zach's game plan isn't bad. Like, I think he can definitely beat the Raging Bolt with the Pokemon that he brought. It is just going to be a little bit trickier. He's going to have to match Calm Minds. I feel like the Raging Bolt could potentially get out of hand with the lefties, so we'll have to see here. And we're just right into game 2 here with the Indeedee Crown lead into Raging Bolt Incineroar. So the 2 Pokemon Paul didn't bring last game are here to play.
Okay, yeah, so this is a switch up on both ends. And I think I like this better on both ends, because I think Paul can pretty safely click Calm Mind and swap to Rillaboom or Parting Shot. Mm-hmm. And if I'm Zach, I think you can also just Calm Mind and swap. I think you definitely don't really want to stay in with Indeedee. And I don't think you're getting much out of an expanding. I think you just Calm Mind and potentially switch to Landorus if it's there.
Yeah, and I think one interesting thing here to note, too, is, like, Paul's Leftovers Raging Bolt. He can do whatever he wants with that thing, right? Like, he can switch it around, he can move it. But the other one is Booster, so it feels a little bit bad, and you're more inclined to stay in to try and get your value out of that Booster energy. So I think, like, Paul freely switching here, he's just going to slow down the Calm Minds. He gets the Fake Out Live next turn as well. I think it's just... I mean, I think the Landorus is in a decent-ish spot as well. Like, he does come in here, he can threaten the Raging Bolt, and he can just threaten your turns right now and just get going.
I actually think this is a really good spot for Zach because you have a stomping tantrum available on that Incineroar, and the
Hmm.
only way it gets out of it is to Terra, or if he fakes out the Lando.
Hmm.
And if you fake out the Lando, the stomping's boosted the next turn. The only thing you have to be worried about is a potential Ogerpon, but then you can Calm Mind this turn and then Terra Dragon the next. I feel like stomping Calm Mind here is really, really free. I'm hoping he goes for it.
He is gonna go
See,
for
it was
U-turn.
U-turn. He got greedy. He saw the Rillaboom and he saw the super effective button. Damn, Paul baited that beautifully.
The thing is, too, though, is like he doesn't have a ground resist on the field. The only ground resist,
Oh.
or in the back, the only ground resist was on the field. Sorry. So he actually had the freest stomping tantrum of all time here, but he doesn't take it, and instead hits that super effective U-turn to try and like keep the momentum, potentially bring him in later. But now Crown does get the special defense boost for free, but does take that -1 special attack
Yeah,
there.
I think Zach was like, I actually don't understand the U-turn because you can't be afraid of the high horsepower if you're going for U-turn. Um, I really think he's just stomping there, and I think Incineroar would have gone down to a choice band stomping, and then it would have
It
just been a
does.
mon advantage again. So this is same thing as game one in that he could have gotten a KO to gain a mon advantage, and instead took the more passive route. And now I feel like Paul's in a pretty good spot. Like you can either
Hmm.
Ivy Cudgel Dragon Pulse the Crown, or you can try and kill this Urshifu. And we see Paul really honing in on this Urshifu. I'm kind of worried.
Yeah, it is kind of an awkward 50-50 here, because you're right. Like, the Crown being Terra Dragon is really awesome, except for the fact that Raging Bolt can hit you with Dragon Pulse. It's awesome to everything else. So it is kind
But
of an
you're already
awkward
calm-minded.
situation. Yeah,
I
you are
think you could have
calm-minded.
gotten another one up. Oh, but he protects it. If Paul gets this, I think he just wins the whole thing.
So we're going to see the
Oh my
glide come
God.
through. I mean, already this is really, really hard for him to come back from. We are going to see the clap fail, so we're going to see the taunt come off. Paul still got the turn correctly, right? Like, the taunt sucks a little bit, but at the same time, you don't really care, because now you have the freest Ivy Cudgel plus Dragon Pulse of your entire life, and I just don't think he can punish it, right? I mean, like, maybe he could, he could, like, CC and Expanding Force Bolt, but even then, you're not at +1, so I don't know.
Yeah, I really wanted to see a Calm Mind and swap there last turn. Like, I think
Mhm.
if you're at +2 Spadef and this is not a booster bolt, like I think the Dragon Pulse would have done like 30%. You know.
Hmm.
I don't understand the taunt there at all. I think at that point you'd rather just get an expanding off.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I think Zach's maybe he's drowning a little bit here. The nerves are getting to him. He's facing down Paul Chua. At this point, you got to swap out the Shifu, get the Indeedee in, potentially Terra Dragon expanding.
Yeah, get your one Expanding Force of the game, because at this point, though, unfortunately, I don't think either Pokemon is going down, and the Crown is just going to faint with what Paul locked in. We're going to see the Terra come through for Paul here real quick. We're going to see that Terra Fire on the Ogerpon.
Yeah, I really would have liked to seen the Lando switch back in last turn, and then with that Calm Mind.
Hmm.
Because then you'd be at +1 here, and I think honestly, you're just doing too much damage for Paul to recover.
Hmm.
Because I think even in Grassy Terrain, expanding would have killed that Ogerpon at +1. It could be a roll,
100%.
but
100%.
here we see the Terra Dragon. I think Crown might be able to live this though, just like barely.
I don't know. I feel like it is at +1.
No,
This
not
is going to be.
intimidated.
This,
Maybe
yeah,
not.
this is a +1 Cudgel, and then a +1 Special Defense Dragon Pulse. So I don't know. The expanding is going to come through here, and Ogerpon's going to barely survive. Bolt eats that and does this get the KO? It does.
does.
Paul pops
Oh my God! Did you see him
off.
flip up?
He popped off
I'm a
there.
little surprised.
Paul's not one to pop off, but he knows. Like, honestly, after that turn, I think it's going to be almost impossible for Zach to come back here, right? Like, you're going to have to get... The Urshifu's almost dead. Paul can resume terrain control whenever he wants. And he's just going to have to rely on Landers here to deal the damage he needs to do. And you can't even spam Earthquake because of grassy terrain, and you don't have any flying partners. So this is going to be a really, really difficult game to come back from.
Yeah, I think the terrain control is really big too, because then you can clap the Urshifu, or you can just click Grassy Glide. I think, yeah, all Paul has to do is get rid of this Indeedee, and Lando can't lock into 3 moves at the same time. So I think he's really got to figure out some Rock Slide flinch angle, or yeah, it's just not looking good. I think you have to like follow me Rock Slide or follow me U-turn, but Paul's really smart. He's not gonna let him just get away with it.
I also think it's just so easy to just attack with Paul's Pokemon at this point because I feel like the Fake Out brothers in the back actually have this by themselves, you know? Like, I think just switching in one
True.
of them, throwing in Incin right now, getting the Intimidate, getting Fake Out live with potential terrain control is cool, but I think they're just too healthy for Zach to deal with. I think Rillaboom being full HP can just solo this whole team. So we're
And
gonna
Zach
see.
fucked up here. Urshifu's gone. Cudgel's gonna come, take the KO, and now Rillaboom just wins the game by itself.
Yeah, yeah. All he has to do is, it doesn't even matter really. He just can he gets the Fake Out this turn on Landers too. There's no terror or anything, so he just gets to press
Just
sorry.
whatever he wants.
Yeah, whatever he wants.
Switch Rillaboom Fake Out, dude. Like
Yep.
he's like, actually, Paul makes you feel stupid, dude. Paul is like, he shows you like, oh, you thought you had a plan? Like, what do you mean? I literally just click Fake Out, I win. Like, I literally just switch in my Rillaboom, I win.
Mm-hmm.
He's such a master at these kinds of teams, and he said it, I think, in one of his interviews, that he has like little tricks that he uses, right? Like he lulls you into a sense of comfort and just makes these small like plays that you don't think are that big, but it just gives him so much momentum. And it's like him baiting that U-turn on the Rillaboom earlier, right? It meant that he didn't get the stomping on instant, and afterwards it's just been so easy for Paul to keep on that pressure with the Ogerpon Fire. Obviously with the Mon advantage now, there's just no way for Zach to win. He's literally just stalling his own demise here.
And he's gonna even eat the Citrus Berry. He's chilling. Now at this point, I think, what do? Just switch Incineroar out, get that Intimidate, get that Fake Out back, and you just take it home? Because you can just glide the Indeedee here. Yeah, sure, parting. Oh, he's actually gonna surf.
I think you want the grassy terrain so you can glide instead of
Oh,
getting
yeah.
flinched. Yeah, Helping Hand Rock Slide, if it kills the Bolt here, maybe there's a chance with some flinches.
Mm-hmm.
If you kill the Bolt and the Incin. But it looks like Paul's Incin is actually quite bulky. It's like super defensively bulky. That I don't even think Rock Slide is going to be close on it. Yeah, neither of them.
And at this point,
And there's
too.
a parting shot. Game's over.
Yep. The flinch can't even come through for the Rillaboom either. He gets to just spam glide and just take it home.
What a just like surgical victory for Paul here.
Yeah, it was just so clean. He played this incredibly, incredibly well, and I mean, it didn't even look close, right? Like, but I mean, there were some key turns, right? Like if Zach, let's say, just protected, or if he expanding forced that turn and switched out to Indeedee, I'm thinking maybe there's a way better shot, right? Or if he got up a second Calm Mind when he doubled the Urshifu, there was turns that, like, if he got him right, obviously he didn't. Like he could have been in a really solid spot, but Paul's just not gonna let that happen. That's just kind of how he is as a player.
It wasn't unwinnable at all for Zach, but Paul had to kind of mind control him, as you like to say.
Yeah, he did.
I think even though these are two Americans, it was a very European finals. We see Balance take the victory. You know, Paul is a previous winner. What is he? He's joined a very elite club of two-time winners of the same IC. I don't actually know. Is it Ashton and Marco maybe?
I think those are the only two. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got a new member of the club, and honestly, it's not a surprise. Anyone who's played this game for a little bit knows the name Paul Chua, and they know the Paul Chua bomb. Any event he goes to, he could win, and he's always coming for that Day2 Worlds invite because he's gonna win a huge tournament with the most standard team possible, but he's just gonna make you realize there are levels to this game. Like, I need to be better.
Yeah, and like the thing with Paul is he's so consistent and just so good at playing these teams. Like the meta doesn't matter to him. He will find a team that he likes and that is good for him, and he will win, right? Like, and he found this team back in Toronto, and he piloted it to a second place finish there, and now he is a UIC champion with that Grassy Glide.
And huge shout outs to Zach too. What a phenomenal run! Like a very young player who's just consistently done so well. He's slain the previous world champion before. He's slain Wolf. He's beat these big names. If you look at his run, he beat some really good players. So this is not the last we're going to see of Zach. And just getting it to second at an IC, as someone who's done it before, it's an incredible feeling. I'm still living off that high, even though it was like 3 years ago. So huge shout outs to Zach, but even bigger congrats to Paul for just adding another trophy to that shelf. He's really in a tier of his own right now.
Yeah, and I think Zach, there's a bright future ahead for him. I think he's an incredible player, and I'm excited to see what he's capable of. But yeah, again, Paul played amazingly, clinically, and every single year, when you doubt him the most, I mean, I don't even think I was doubting him going into this tournament. I thought he had a good shot. I know we discussed putting him on our list, and he's just too good. Like, he found the standard, and this meta is all about the standard, and he played the standard to the best of anyone's capability and won the entire thing.
Exactly. Well, if you guys like this breakdown, we're gonna be doing more from this tournament. So like and subscribe. Keep a lookout for our future videos, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.